Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I am going to try and make this top. So if you're making it for the first time, you're making it for the first time with me. So if we make mistakes, we're going to be making mistakes together, but I absolutely love this top. It's mainly made from crochet, granny, a little bit of granny patterns underneath, and then the eye in the middle, of course, and then granny top and the arms. So let's get started. We're going to do the front part first. This is the eye. So I'm going to do the arm off camera, the first arm, and then show you when I'm doing the second arm. So let's get started. I'm excited for it. I'm going to be using my own t-shirt as a reference for size because this one is slightly tricky because of the eye in the middle. So I must just make sure the eye is not too big or too small. So to make the eye, we're going to start with the black yarn, and the kind of yarn that I'm using is this Showcase. It is 100% acrylic. It's not double knit. It's not a thick yarn. It's about 250. So it says that you can use 4mm hook on it or UK size 8. But yeah, it's kind of strong. It's a strong yarn. And then it almost looks the same as this one. So I couldn't find the colors in the same brand. So I'm going to be using two types of brands to make this top, but the thickness is the same, the strength is kind of the same, and it's not a thick yarn. Don't use a thick yarn. So anywho, let us get started. I'm sorry if you don't see the black properly. I hope you can follow my instructions. So let's do that, and then I'm just going to remove the camera from autofocus so that it stops making the noise. Okay, so I'm going to do a magic ring, and I go underneath, and then I go under and I pull through. So after that, I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that's the first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet back in the first space, and we're going to make 12 double crochets. So that's 2, 3. Sorry, I didn't say I'm using a 3.5mm. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that is how it looks right now. And we are going to, I'm just going to pull it so that it closes a bit, and we are going to slip stitch. So in the third space, 1, 2, 3, from this first one, you just pull through, and then you pull through, and then we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then in the same space, this space here, we're going to do a double crochet. So now we're doing 2 double crochets in each space, and this is for our iris. I think that's the part of the eye. And we're just going to do 2 double crochets in each space. Going to do 2 double crochets in each space, and we will check our eye to make sure that it's not too big or too small. I have made a top before with the eye, but the eye was not part of the top. So this one is going to be slightly different. 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets. Oh, sorry. I have this problem of not putting my project in the middle of the camera. So that was our last double crochet, and I'm just going to quickly look at, I think this is still too small. Going to do a double crochet, and then in the next space you're going to do 1 double crochet and not 2. So you go 1, 2, and then 1, and then 2. Okay, so now we're going to join the green yarn, which is the second part of the eye, which gives it color. So if you want blue eyes, you can use blue yarn here. So I went underneath the first space and chain 1, 2, 3, and then in the same space I'm going to chain another double crochet, and then in the next space I'm going to chain 1, and then in the next space chain 1, and then chain 2 in the following space. So what I'm going to be doing is chaining 2 and then chain 1 and 1, 2, 1 and 1. So now this is chain 1 and 1, and then now we are doing 2, 1, 2. Okay, so I have done my eye in the middle, and I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3 and do the second part of the eye. So I'm going in the same space, and then we're going to do 4 single crochets in the following spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do 2. So it's 2 in here. 1, 2, and then we do 4, and then we can do double until we meet on the other side. So I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm doing double. So I'm gonna show you how it looks just now, and then I will meet you when I have completed my circle. Okay, so now I have done my eye. There it is. Now we're going to do half double crochet around the eye, and that is 1 in each space. 1, 2, and then I'm just going to do 2 in the first space. So half double crochet, you go all the way. So after you go underneath and you bring it out, you just go all the way out. So I'm going to do that around the eye, and then we're going to do the sides of the eye. So now I'm just enclosing the yarn in there so that our work is nice and neat. So that's how it looks, and I'm gonna finish it off. Okay, so now I have decided that I'm going to start at the sides to make the rest of the eye going this way. So I'm just gonna put this hook here by the black part of the eye and just mark this side, and I'm going to do the same on the other side where I put the hook to see. Okay, so I put it here where the other eye is. Okay, so that's this side. Alright, so now we start our half double crochets on the side. So then I put it in there, and then 1, 2, and then we do half double crochets up to the other side. Let me use this yarn. I think I'm able to make the spaces tighter with this yarn. So we are doing half double crochet all the way to where we left our stitch marker. And then I'm going to show you what we need to do. Just going to check how it looks. Okay. Can do in this side as well. So I'm just chaining one here, and then we're turning the work around, and then I'm going to go underneath the space and then do 1, and then underneath the space 2, and now we decreased. So instead of going into this top space, you go under the space. Okay. Yeah, under this. Okay, now we've almost reached the end. So this is the second to last. And I went underneath once, and then I'm going underneath again just to make it smaller, and we chain 1, and then under this space go 1, and then go in the next space to decrease. So there's 1, and then I go under here 2, and then it's a decrease, I chain 1. So I'm going back again. So this is how it's looking, and then it's gonna keep getting smaller and smaller. Right guys, so I have the eye that looks like this, and I had just one space to do. So now I'm just going to, I've already chained 1. I'm going to just cut it off, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Or what you can even do is count how many you have crocheted this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. and then you can do 23 on the other side. I think that is the best way. So let's do that. So this our eye, guys. So we're just going to go around like that with the white before we go around with the black. So I'm going to join the white yarn I've cut off on the side. Going to join the white yarn. I'm going to start on this side, and we are going to do half double crochets. So just gonna hold on like that and chain 1, 2, and then we start with the half double crochets, and I like to go in between the yarns so that there isn't too much space underneath the yarn. So we're just going to go around once, and then we will go around with the black yarn, doing half double crochet, of course. There are, just making sure you get 1 in each row. One in each row. Okay. We're almost at the middle of the eye. And now we are on the eye, and then we just go around with the half double crochet like that, and I'm going to go all the way around. When I reach the corner, I'm going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet in the space when I reach the side. So in the end, I'm going to say half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and then continue with our eye on the other side. Okay. Hi guys, so this is how my eye looks now, and I'm going to put the black yarn on, and I'm going to put it under where I did the spaces. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, and then put in another half double crochet in the same space before I start moving to doing my half double crochet, going all the way around. And when I come back, I'm gonna chain, put in 2 chain and join. So just make sure to cover those pieces of yarn that are left behind. And I'm just going to continue, and I will meet you when I am done with the black yarn going around the eye. Just like that. So this black yarn of mine is a bit stretchy, which is kind of annoying. That's okay. Okay. Hi everyone. So now we are going to start making the actual top. So I'm going to start with the green. We're gonna use a whole lot of colors, which is exciting. I'm going to start with the green, and we are going to okay, so we start with 3 in this. I'm going to start with 3 in this first space. So let me just tie it, because we're going to do a cluster of double crochets. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet, and then double crochet. Gonna chain 1, and then we're going to skip 1, 2, and then in the third going to do 3 double crochets, 2, 3. And then I just want to check quickly if there are spaces in between this top. I'll chain 1 anyway, and then skip 1, 2, and then in the third we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, and then 1, 2, skip, and then we're going to chain 3 in the space. 2, 3, and then we chain 1, and then 1, 2, 3. We do 3, and 1, 2, and then the third was going to be that big space, the chain in the middle of the eye. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 in the same space, and then I'm going to chain 3. So sorry, I wasn't chaining 3, I was doing 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, and then I go back in the same space and I'm crocheting 3 half double crochets, because we're going to move on to the other side. Oh, why is it starting to split now? Okay, so there's our corner, and now I chain 1, and then 1, 2, go into that space to do 3 double crochets, and I am going to continue and go on to the next side. Chain 1, and I'm going to continue. I'm going to stretch it out a bit, so that's how it looks. Hi everyone, so I actually cut off this part, and I was not supposed to cut off the yarn, so I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then go underneath and chain and chain and double crochet. So I'm chaining 1, and then I'm moving on to the other side, and we are going to do 2 clusters in here. 2, 3, chain 1, and then I'm going to 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then I continue with the crochet going on the other side. So I'm doing 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then continue, and then when I get to the other side I'm going to do 2 crochets, chain 1. Sorry about the dogs barking, it's the neighbor's dogs. Chain 1, crochet, half double crochet, 2, 3, chain 1, and then move on to the next one. This is where we're going to do that chain 1, and then another cluster in the same space, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then I'm going to do 1 cluster in this space, 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 clusters in this space, 1, 2, 2, 3, and then chain 1 and 1. No, I need to do chain 1, and then in the same space we're going to do another cluster. So 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then we continue doing 1 clusters in each to the other side. So that's how it looks, starting to look like it's turning into a square here. So now you continue doing 1, 1, 1 until here in this one where you do 2 clusters, and then you chain, and then you slip stitch to join, and then we're going to change color. Yes. Right guys, so I have done this part, and you can see here's the 3, the 2, the 2. So now I'm just going to insert the black yarn. I'm gonna tie it, and we are going to do 3 so it's 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do 3 double crochets in here. And sorry. No, here I want to do actually half double crochets. So I chained 1, 2, and then we're going to do 3 half double crochets. So with the black yarn we want it to be a bit thinner. 3, and then we chain 1, and then I go into the next space. 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and go into the next space. So this space, you can see it's that one that had 2. So we're going to put in 2 in here, 2 clusters of half double crochets. So that's 2 half double crochet, 3, chain 1, 2, 3, and I go 2 and 3, chain 1, and then we are carrying on going to the other side, and 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and so it continues. You're going to be going all the way to the other side, and this is how it looks. So when we get to here where there's 2, you make 2 half double crochets, chain 3, 3 half double crochets, chain 3, 3 half double crochets, and then we're going to do half double crochet cluster in here, half double crochet cluster in here, and half double crochet cluster, chain 3, half double crochet cluster, and we carry on and make sure in here also when we have 2 spaces we do half double crochet clusters, and then we chain. So I'm gonna meet you here. Hi everyone, so I added another green, and now I'm going to add another black. So the green, of course, we do double crochets, and the black we do half double crochet. So I'm going to do the same thing. So in the space here we do half double crochets, 3 of them, and chain, and then of course when we get to the corner we do 2 clusters, and then you go on until you get to the corner this side. So I'm going to do another black, and then we're going to switch things up a bit when we reach the next row. So do 1 more black here. Hi guys, I added the black, and now I am going to add 1. I'm going to add 2 because I want to make it as long as this. So I did the back part a bit, which is from shoulder to shoulder, a little bit over shoulder to shoulder. So I'm going to add two of the color, the next color. So the next color I'm going to be using this one. I like this one, so I'm going to use this one in the next color. So I'll be adding this one, and I'm going to add 2 rows like I did with this one. So same as we did before, we join and tie that. And we are going to, so with this color we do double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and remember with half double crochet we do we chain only 2. So I'm going to do 3, chain 1, go to the next space, and I'm going to do 3, chain 1, and we do 3, chain 1, and we go into the corner like here, and we are going to do 3 and then chain 3 and go around. And then we chain 1, 2, 3, and we chain 1, and there we have the corner. So we're going to go around and do the same thing, going around, and then at the corner chain 2 clusters, and I will meet you on the other side. Hi everyone, so this is how it looks. I have done 2 double crochets going up, and currently I just need to measure, but I'm going to do 1 more black on the side, but this time with the black I'm just going to do a single crochet going to the other side. So you're just gonna go like that, and I'm going to tie it, and we still chain 2. So you go 1, 2, and then I'm going to go once, 1 and 2. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I go in the space, 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and for this row we're doing single crochets, chain 1, and then in here I'm going to do 2 clusters, 2, 3, chain 1, 2, 3, turn and work around, and 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then we are going to carry on as we were, 2, 3, and that's how it looks. So carry on and do the rest going around the top. Hi everyone, so I am happy with the side from shoulder to shoulder with my top. I finally found the measuring tape, so I'm going to measure it. So it's all the way to 50, I would say 52.5 centimeters. Let's say 53 centimeters. Yep, 53 centimeters. It's 53 centimeters. That's where it is. So now we're going to switch up things a little bit. And instead of starting in the middle, we're not going to start in the middle, we're going to start at this corner, because now we're going straight. So here's that corner, and I'm just going to put the yarn through there. And for this row, we're going to do single crochets going through. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, and then I'm going to go in this space, and that's going to be 2, and then in the space 3, and I chain 1, and then I continue going 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then go into the next 1, 2, 3, chain 1, go 1. Now we're at the end, 1, 2, and then 3, we put it in the middle space there. And 3. We're gonna chain and cut off, and now we are going to change the color and use a yellow or something. So here's my yellow, and I'm going to start. I'm gonna attach the yellow, and then we're going to do 2 rows of yellow, and then we're going to make the things a bit shorter. So we're going to do 2 rows of yellow, and then we're not going to do black. I'll show you what we do, because now we're going to do the other part of the top. So let's do yellow. We start there again, and we're going to tie it here. And after we tie it, so this would have been the first, let's do that, 1, 2, 3. So now, because this was the space that we did the 3 clusters, we're going to move into the next space. So let's do 3 double crochets in there. 2, 3, and then we chain 1, and we're going to move into the next one. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then we move into the next space. So that's how we're going to do this row. And when we reach the end, we're going to turn around. 2, 3. So that's how it looks now. When I reach the side, we're going to do like we did. We're not going to cut off. You're going to turn the work around. So I'll show you how to turn around here. So I have reached the end, and I'm going to turn the work around, and I've chained 1. Now this is 2 and 3. And then I'm going to go into this space. 2, 3, and then continue to go to the other side, and then we do the last bit, 2, 3. Then we're going to do the last part, so I'm going to continue and go to the other side. Hi everyone, so I did the 2 rows of black, and now I marked like a couple of spaces. So there's one, well, a little bit of this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit of this one this side. Oh, this one counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's make sure we have the same space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was the 7th space. Okay, so now we're going to crochet up to here. So we are going to do that and go under, and there we go. And now we are going to, so this one will have space in here. Okay, so now we're going to chain, we're going to do half double crochet, let's do a normal crochet actually, 1, 2, 3, and then we go under the space. So I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit, and like that you go under the space, go, and then under the space, and going to chain that black, and we're going to cut off there and do another yellow. So here we're cutting off, and we can actually do another color, which is this one. So we are going to add two more of black. So 1, 2, 2 more of black, and that will be it for our top for now anyway. So we're going to do this side and then do the same thing this side. So I'll meet you when you're finished. Right everyone, so I have already done the back panel. So this is the back panel. I'm almost done with it. I did the one part. So I'm going to show you how to start below, and when I measure this, measure it the same as the front. Mind those pieces, measure it the same as the front, and it's about 50 centimeters. So to do the back panel, we are just going to do a magic ring, and we're going to crochet until it reaches the length that we want, or you can count how many chains using the front panel. So you just do a straight line like this. So this is going to be the first line. Do it all the way until you can measure. And then now to turn around, we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go into the first, so actually chain 4, and we're going to go into the first space, and we're going to do a cluster. So that's 1, 2 in the same space, and 3. Then we chain 1, and then you count 1, 2. In the third, I'm going to do another cluster. 1, 2, 3, This one's cluster. And then I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Then I'm chaining 1, and then you count again, 1, 2, 3. Excuse my nails. 1, 2, and 3. And then you chain 1, and then you're going to go all the way to the end. 1, 2. And I'm going to chain 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and you're going to do this all the way to the end. And when it reaches the end, say maybe this is your end, you're going to chain 1, and if it reaches the end where it's like a 3 cluster, you're going to say 2, 3, and then chain 4, and then you're going to move into this space, because this one already has a space. So we're going to do a cluster in this space. And you're going to chain 1 and then go into the next space. And you're going to chain 1 and then you go into the next space. And then you chain 1. And now you see this is that space that was left. So we're going to go into this space here. And then we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And then to do the third chain, you're going to chain on top of this last space here. So you go there. So you don't chain into the space, you chain into the other chain. So there is your 3. Then chain 1, 2, 3. And you turn around. Now you see that you need to go into this space. You chain 4. And then you go do your clusters. And then you chain 1. And then you go into the next cluster. Chain 1 into the next cluster. And then you chain 1. And then you go into this cluster. You see it's the same as the other one. So you're going to do that. And then you're going to chain onto this space. So there you go. And chain 1. And you're going to carry on and carry on. And then you can change your colors, of course. And where I changed colors, you can see this is where I changed colors. You just tie a knot and then you continue. So I've already done the one side. So you can see this side, I did not cut off the yarn. So when I reached this side, I continued I crochet up to here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in half. So I made sure that I matched it with the front. So now I'm going to do this side of the back panel, and I'm going to do the same thing that I've done this side. So to do this side, like I did the other side, I'm going to join the yarn here and showing you how I did that. Okay, so 1, 2, so you can see that there's the 3. So I'm just going to chain 1, 2, 3, and 4, and go into this space. Chain 1, chain 1, chain 1. So now we have 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. I'm gonna do 2 more and 1 space, and then turn the work around. And 5 and 6. Chain 1, and then I'm gonna do into the last space of this one. Now we turn the work around. So now you can see there's space here. So 1 2 3, and then we go into this space, and then chain 1 and go into this space, and so forth until you do 1 2 3 4 spaces. Hi guys, so I'm going to mark where my arms are going to be going at. So I've marked up to here. So up to here is where I'll be ending the putting together of the 2 sides. So this is going to be the inside of the top, and this is going to be the outside. So to put the top together, I'm not going to be using a crochet needle. I'm going to be using the hook and the yarn. So don't mind this piece. I actually made the top longer than it should have been. So I'm just going to go under, and then I'm going to go into this space. And then I go under and I go to this space, and then pull through, and go through that. So we just pull the hook through one side, put it onto the other side, and then I'm gonna put them together. So you go under, and then you go under the other one, and pull through, and then bring it out. These things are gonna be on the inside, so you don't have to worry too much, but otherwise you can still try and close them in. And we are going to do this all the way to where we marked that we're going to end the top at. So put them there, and I'm going to finish off this part. So I'll meet you once I have done the other side as well and ended the putting together of the side here. And then we're going to join these together, do the same thing we did. This is going to be much easier. And then you just do here to here. And that's going to be the arm. Hi everyone, so I have done this side of the top. This is still the inside. So we're going to close this side. We're going to close this side at the top of the shoulder. So you need to start from this side going the other way, because when we reach this side, so I have crocheted that side as well. I've attached the top. So when you reach this side, we're going to continue with the arm. And we're not going to just cut it right away. So I'm going to turn the top around now, bring it this side, and put it together. So you go that way, and then I go underneath, chain 1, and we are going to put our top together. It's easy to match this top on the shoulders because the clusters are already next to each other. So we're just going to be doing that and putting the top together before we reach our arm. Sorry, I sometimes forget to make sure that I am putting this in the middle. So here we go. So I'm going to do the rest of this arm, and I will see you just now when I start the arm. Or the rest of the shoulder, not the rest of the arm. So here's the shoulder. I'll put it together. I'm going to show you how to start the arm on the side. So to continue, sorry about the noise of the dog. So to continue, you're going to take the jersey inside out like that. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. So this is the outside of the sweater, and I brought the yarn in. So this is going to be the other space. So we're going to move into this space, and we're going to do our first cluster. 1, 2, 3, and we're not going to chain. So we're just going to move straight into the next space and make the other cluster. So we're going to move around the arm doing this. No space in between, just move into the next space to make the arm. So I'm going to meet you once I have done the arm, the first line, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to change the yarn on the arm and how many rows we're going to be doing for the first part of the arm before we do the flaring part. So I'm just going to continue this way, putting in 1 cluster in each space with no chain. Okay, so I'm meeting the other yarn on the other side on this row. So I'm going to do 2 here because this one was part of the cluster. So I'm just going to hook it in and then bring it out. And there we have the first row for the arm. I'm going to cut off and join the other yarn. But what I want to do is I want to start from the bottom of the top. So this is the bottom part. So we're going to do 2 rows or 4 rows of this color, just like we did this side before we change and do the pink row. Then we're going to do black and then do yellow and then black and then the other color. Now, when we get to this row, we're going to start doing the increase. So now I'm just going to count with you to show you how many rows you need to do before we start doing the increase. So it's going, that black counts as 1 that we did now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then the 20th, we start to increase. So I'm going to meet you when I'm doing the 20th. For now, you're going to do 4 rows of the color you want in black, 4 rows of the color you want in black, 4 rows black, and 3 rows. And then we're going to meet when we do the 4th row here. So I'm going to do all of this off of line, and I will meet you when we are about to increase. So I have done those lines like we agreed on, and now we're going to start with the increase. I'm going to increase 4 times in this row. So we chain 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to increase in the first space. I will increase in the second space. So we do 1 cluster of double crochets and we chain 1, and in the same space we're going to do another cluster of double crochets. And then we're going to move on to the next space as soon as I can get my hook back in there. Okay, so there we have 3 in space. So now we're going to move on and we're going to do another increase. That was 1 increase. So we'll skip a few more. You want to space them around nicely instead of doing the spaces in next to each other. So I have done 1 increase, and now I can do another increase here. So we're going to do 1 cluster. Sorry guys. 1 cluster, and we're going to chain 1, and we go there is the second cluster. That's increase number 2. We need 2 more. So we're going to move on to the next space. And we're going to do an increase, not in this space though. Let's go around a bit. Make sure that there is enough space between the increases. So, going to move here. And let's see how much we still have left. Okay, we still have a bit of room left. So we can actually do the other increase in here. So I'm just going to move on to the next space, and then I'm going to do the next increase, and then I'm going to do the last increase of camera. So in here we're going to do the increase. You only chain 1 when you are doing the increases. Chain 1, 2, 3, and then I'm moving on and I'm going to finish this row. There you go. So I'm going to finish the row. Hi guys, apologies for the dog making a noise. I really need to finish this recording. So I have done the 1 spacing. We're going to do increases for 6 rows. So that was the first row of increase. And to increase in the next row, I did 1 cluster here. And we're going to do the second cluster here. And 3. And then I'm going to move into the middle of where we did the increase. So I'm going to do a cluster in the middle here. And then move into the next space. 1, 2, 3. And then, because we're still increasing, I'm going to do 2 clusters in here. So we still do 4 of the increases. So this is the first cluster and the first cluster in here and the first increase space. So chain 1 and go back in there, and we're going to do that. So just make sure that when you increase, you don't increase right over where you already increased before. So we're moving on to the next space, and then we're going to do that. And then when we reach here, we do 1 cluster in here, and then you can do a cluster next, and then you can increase in here. So here's the cluster. So we've already increased there. And this one, and in the middle there. So we move on to the next side to do this cluster. And then we're going to increase here. So every time you increase, it's one cluster, space, one cluster. And each arm for 6 rows, you are going to do increases. So there, I have done my 1, 2 increases. I need to do 2 more, and the next rows that are blue, I'm going to be increasing in all of these rows. And then from here on, we just do single, 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 single until the end, changing the yarn, of course. So the next 1, 2, 3 rows, I've done blue 3 rows. They're going to be increases, and I'm going to be doing 4 increases. So we are going to do a single crochet now, continuing and continuing until we finish our arm. So we have done the increase like that, and we're going to do single crochets until we finish the arm. Just gonna zoom out a bit, and this is how the arm looks when we're done with it. So I did 3 black, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4 black, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black, and then 5 black and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and black. So yeah. So around the arm, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 rows from the black. So that's 27. But the increase started with the orange, of course, in the last row. So yes, there you go. You can finish your top off and enjoy. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can be the first one to see new patterns coming out. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram and suggest any pattern that you have seen that you would like me to try, and I'll be happy to do that.